In today's video, I'm talking all things apartment hunting in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm talking about the pricing. I'm going to show you my apartment. I'm going to show you how I got the place. I'm going to tell you about the challenges, the ups and downs, everything in between. Basically, it's a whole lot of apartment hunting. So if you're interested in this, make sure to watch this video till the very end. And of course, if you love what you see, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, okay? All right, so let's just go straight into the video. Hi guys, if this is your first time here, my name is Jessica Fortunes. I'm currently a student of media and communication at Pan Atlantic University, and I'm also a podcaster. I host the podcast 20 somethings rant, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. I promise that you will definitely enjoy listening to the podcast. Okay? And to my returning subscribers, thank you very much for stopping back once again. It's a pleasure to have you here. Okay. All right. So, like I said, this video we're talking about apartment hunting. If you've been following for a while, you know that I had to move from where I stay on the mainland to somewhere closer to school because home is far from school or school is far from home. And so in between that, I've made a couple of videos here on YouTube, YouTube short, TikTok about the apartment. I've showed you guys bits and pieces of the place, and I've gotten a number of questions about apartments. And I'm like, Jessica, give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. So today I'm doing just that, starting with how I got the accommodation. Okay, so how I got the apartment. First thing first for me was reaching out to someone who stayed close to school or who had attended the school before. So I was basically working hand in hand with people who were around the location that I wanted to go to, right? So when it comes to looking for apartment and you know that okay, I want to stay on the mainland, I want to stay on the island, most likely you don't have the contact of any agent around that area, but what you do have is probably somebody you know or somebody you know that knows somebody who stays around there. So the first thing will usually be to reach out to that person to get like an agent or get recommendation because that's how these things work, right? So for me, I reached out to a friend who basically had attended Pan Atlantic in the past. And so I'm like, babes, I'm going here. I need to get an apartment. Can you help me out? How'd you get your place? All of that information. At the same time, I was talking to someone from the school, like a staff in the school, and she was also helping me to search for places. So within or between the staff and the person that I knew personally, my friend, I got a couple of places or a couple of agents and then I followed up with them, right? So at the end of it, I think I had like about three or four different people that I was working with to get this. Definitely, you know that when you're getting an apartment or looking for an apartment, you want to have like a pool of options so that you can basically look and search for what you like. And at this point, I'll talk about the non negotiables. While you're searching for places and while you're working with agents, especially here in Lagos, Nigeria, one thing that is very common is that agents, you're gonna give them something else and they're gonna give you something else. You tell them I'm looking for this and they're gonna want to give you something else. So you need to have different people that you're working with in case there's anyone that their head is not really correct. But most importantly, you want to know what exactly it is you're looking for because these agents, they can sweet talk you. Oh, madam, it's very good, it's very nice. You don't need to worry, it's good, it's perfect. They're lying. So what you need to do is make sure that you know what you want, what you're looking for, what are your non-negotiables. For me, I needed somewhere with lights because I'm a student. I'm going to have to work on assignments, projects, all of that. And at that time, I was also working from home. So it's like I need lights. And with the way Nigeria is functioned, I know that you might not be able to. At that point, I knew that I might not be able to get 24 hours light, but at least I needed somewhere that had constant light. Secondly, I needed somewhere that had water. Please, I did not come here to go and be fetching water. I didn't be fetch water in my house. So please, I do not intend to do that. I'll be looking for mirror to help me look for to help me look for water. I knew that no, I needed somewhere that had water. Thirdly, I needed somewhere that was close to the school as well. Of course, I was leaving where I stayed with my family to move down here. So I had to be very close to school. I don't want to have to spend another 1,000 500 just to get to school. So I'm like, it has to be close to school. And lastly, security. And there's somewhere that was gated, somewhere that had good security, somewhere that was residential, had other people living there, just so that I could be comfortable. So these for me were my non-negotiables. And so with these at the back of my mind, I followed these different agents to the different apartment that he showed me. I should say this, that when it comes to apartment hunting, you have to be ready to search. Like you have to be ready to to waka. If you're Lagosian, you understand what I mean. Or if you're Nigerian, you understand that you have to work, because the chances of you getting what you want immediately is very slim. But if you are able to, walk up and down, go, come back, find what you want, you definitely get something eventually. So I know that I went a whole day. Like I came here one time because it's pretty far for me. I came here one time, and on that one day, I went to about 3, 4 places looking for an apartment. And so I saw about 3 places. And for me, two were within. Oh, in talking about negotiables, I also did not. In talking about negotiables, I forgot to mention one important factor: my budget. Yes, yes, yes. I had a budget. Unfortunately, my father is not $10, so for these kind of things, I need to have a budget. So yeah, that's also something that was very important to me. I needed an accommodation that was very, very within my budget, very close to my budget at least. Like I wasn't going to break a bank to get it, and thankfully, that was what I found. But anyways, back to when I went searching, right? I saw 2 places, 3 places, but I scrapped out the third one because it was way above my budget. It was far from where I was also going to go to school. So I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this. So that was just out. Then the second apartment was really good. It had like security. It had like it was a new building. It was freshly done. Like it was a 2 bedroom accommodation. I was supposed to share it with other students from my class. Now this one was from the person who was helping me from school. So she had other people within school who were also looking for accommodations. So she put me in touch with them, and we went looking as well. And so we saw this place. It was new. It was neat. We saw the landlord. Everything was really good. And I think that it was 500,000 per person. So because it was 2 room, I was going to take one room and the other person takes another room. And then we had this big parlor and big kitchen to share. So it was really good. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I'm going to take, because it was also close to school. Until the parts where I asked the question, what about electricity here? Because he was using Gen the day we went there. And there he says, there's no light at the moment. When was the last time you guys had light? He says 6 months. I'm like, excuse you, 6 months? And that for me, it was like, nah, I can't do this. I mean, the house was perfect and everything, but I'm like, light is a big deal for me. I had to have light. And even when he said, oh, you can get a generator, I'm like, I don't want to have to be looking for fuel every day. I mean, in Lagos here in Nigeria, every day there's fuel scarcity. So imagine if I had to rely only on generator, and that would be an extra cost for me. And I was not willing to do that. So I'm like, nah, I'm out of here. Thankfully, I had the second person, right? That was not at this point, this is the third apartment actually. So I went on to meet him, and then he showed me this place where I currently am at. Yes. And this just sealed everything for me, because here it was, this place is a one, what, what do I call this? This is a one room with bathroom and kitchen. So I did not have to share. It was less than 500,000. And guess what? 24/7 light. The moment I heard that, I was sold. Like, huh? And it had other things, like it was also a top building for me. That, like, that's a big deal. I like upstairs. Like if I have can stay upstairs, like a big deal for me. I mean, it wasn't part of my non-negotiables, but when I got it, it was upstairs. It has 2 windows. I'm like, hey, God had me in mind when he was working on this. So how we have a 24/7 light here is definitely because of the solar. So we use solar here. So there's always light. I can always make my videos. I can work at night. I can study at night. Like, who doesn't want that? Who don't like better thing, right? So when I saw the place, of course, I had to tell my mom about it. I prayed about it, and eventually I got the apartment and I paid for it. And I think everything that I paid for, including the apartment, security, light, maintenance, all of that was about 400,000. And for me, it was a very sweet bargain. So if you're looking for an apartment, my advice for you would definitely be first get an agent around where you're looking for. Decide on where you're looking for, where you want to go to. Get an agent there, reach out to people that you know, ask them for agents contact, and then eventually start going to look for houses. But make sure that you have information from people who probably stayed there. Another thing that helped me like this place, or once I got this place, was I spoke to my friend and she's like, "Oh yeah, I know that building. I stayed there for a while I was in school too." So I'm like, okay, I know someone that's been here. So because there are houses you go to and you hear stories here in Lagos, so you don't want to fall into like those kind of things. So when it comes to housing, recommendations, referral, human being telling you, oh, this is good, is always the best bet. So that was it for me. Now I'm going to also use this opportunity to answer questions from students who are looking to apply to PAU for 2023/2024 session. Now you can get your apartment in the school. There are like hostels there. I think from 800, 1 million, 1.2, 1.4. I'm not even sure if there's any 800 now at this point, but it's from like 1 million, 1.2, 1.4. Depending on what your budget is, you can get an accommodation there. However, if that is way above your budget and you can't do that, you can definitely speak to people in school, like those in the admission office. They're always very helpful to help you look for places around school as well. So that's also something. And if you know people who probably have schooled here personally, I mean, you know me, that's why I'm making this video for you and telling you this. You can also get apartments or hostels, in fact, just apartment around the school area that you can definitely stay in. Okay. All right, so all of that said, now I'm going to show you around, take you through the process of what it was before and what it is right now, how we have moved, what I did, what I got, and all of those. One of the first things that I got definitely was my fridge. I got my fridge first because I want to have cold drinks. I want to make sure that my food fresh. I don't have to warm every day. That was definitely a big deal for me. Next, I don't like sleeping on the floor, so I got myself a bed, and I'm grateful that I could get that as well. I got myself a mirror. I made this space very airy kind of vibe. I think it was the content creator in me that just wanted this whole light, because by having white, my space just looks a whole lot more bigger and more airy, and then it allows light to come in even more, because right now I'm filming and I'm using natural light. So it's like, So I'm just going to show you all of that, the before and after. But before I do that, I remember that I said I was also going to talk about the location. Now, I cannot exactly tell you where I currently am at. Like, I can't tell you my address because this is the internet, guys. But you already know that it is close to Pan Atlantic University, and Pan Atlantic University is located at Ibeju, Lekki. So yes, that's the location of where I currently am at. For everyone who's asked me, oh, where do you stay? How can I get to where you are? I don't know if you guys can stay this far, because sincerely, this place is far. It is far from even Victoria Island. It is far from Lekki. It is far from civilization. So yeah, but now you know, and you can use that information for whatever decision that you want to make. Okay. All right. So that's about it. And when it comes to prices of apartment here in Ibeju Lekki, I know that the apartment from 500, 1 million, 800, 700 around this area. Don't come here thinking that, oh, everything is cheap. If you're looking for a decent place here, I know that my landlord self has increased the rent for the next year, but that's for next year, people. But you need to be aware that if you're looking for somewhere decent around this area, even if it is far from civilization, like I said already, is also Lagos, so the price as per Lagos people. And since the refinery, Dangote's refinery, is not far away from here as well, so they're also all up in the years. We're now part of the big boys. But anyways, if you're looking for somewhere decent around here, you're looking from 500, 400, 700 and above. Okay, but if you're looking for somewhere where it's like you can just manage, then you definitely get something here from about 200, 250. But now that I remember, with the whole fuel issue, and the way prices are hiking or going up, things might be tougher or harder or more expensive when you're ready. But I wish you all the best. Anyways, that's it. Let's go now into the makeover and then I will end the video on that note.
Maybe I made some mistakes. Maybe you shouldn't talk that way. Really matter if the bed's made or if I wore the same shirt that day. Maybe I don't think the same. Maybe you showed up too late. I left my shoes by the doorway. I like it that way. And I don't need you, but I want you. If you hate me, you're supposed to. I'm that someone you lean all your weight on. If you don't need me, why you call me in the night when you're so lonely? Lay it on me. So baby, come on. Tonight just let me be your someone. Be your someone. Be your someone. So what you wanna do now? We both know how we're feeling. I can hear you breathing. And I don't need you, but I want you. If you hate me, you're supposed to. I'm that someone you leave all your weight on. If you don't need me, why you call me in the night when you're so lonely? Lay it on me. So baby, come on. Tonight just let me be your someone. Be your someone. Be your someone. Maybe I'm a little lazy. Maybe you're a little crazy lately. But I don't change things. Ooh, be your someone. And I don't need you, but I want you. If you hate me, you're supposed to. I'm that someone you leave all your weight on. If you don't need me, why you call me in the night when you're so lonely? Lay it on me. So baby, come on. Tonight just let me be your someone. Be your someone. Be your someone.